What is up, my dashing dudes and darling dames? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the subreddit that asks the right questions about dealing with things. It's r/am I the butthole? Our first post for today comes from GBleefan96. AITA for not wanting to cover up my tattoos for a wedding? Hi, this is my first time posting on Reddit. I check this page a lot but have never made an account. Also, I'm not a native English speaker. I'm a 24-year-old female, and my best friend, who's 25, who I'll name Clara, is getting married this August. Not sure if the wedding will still be on due to COVID, but she hasn't made any announcement to cancel. In our country, the COVID measures has lightened up a little bit. Anyway, she's been busy planning the wedding since last year. She has asked me and a couple of other of our mutual friends to be her bridesmaids, and we gladly said yes. Our bridesmaid dresses are all similar looking. It's a dress with no sleeves and shows a bit of your shins. The dresses looked pretty and I was excited to wear them. This is where I might be a butthole. So last Saturday, Clara called me about the wedding, saying that she was excited and all. Just small casual talk about the wedding. Suddenly she said, "You are covering up your tattoos, right?" I didn't know what to say, and was kind of confused why I should cover them up, so I just mumbled, "No?" She then said that she wanted nice pictures for her wedding, and that my tattoos are standing out, and it would look better if I covered them up. I was still confused, because I didn't understand why I should suddenly cover them up. She never had a problem with them before. I have 4 tattoos, 3 on my arms and 1 on my ankle, so I asked, is it okay to wear a different dress instead of covering my tattoos? She didn't want that and started to get annoyed and told me to just cover them up, and that it isn't very hard to do so. At this point I got annoyed too, so I asked why she made me a bridesmaid if she knew that I had tattoos and wouldn't fit her nice pictures with my tattoos and dress. She lashed out and said that she expected that I would do this for her because it's her wedding. We hung up after that and haven't talked. I asked my friend, who is also a bridesmaid, what she thought about it. She said it was kind of crappy, but I should just cover it up for that day. I experimented with lots of foundation and it looks bad. You can still see it a bit. I just don't want to cover it up. So Reddit, AITA, if she's your best friend as you say she is, then she should be accepting of your tattoos and not ask you to cover them up. So no, you aren't. She is though. Our next post comes from Pia Liania. AITA for grilling my son's new girlfriend and telling him I don't approve. My son, who's a 20-year-old male, has been dating a girl he goes to university with for about 6 months now. She's an international student from New Zealand, but has family here so is staying with them during COVID-19. Due to lockdown restrictions and such, we hadn't met her until a couple nights ago, when I invited her over for dinner with my family. We had FaceTimed a few times but not spoken a lot. My husband and I are very Catholic and traditional, but spent a lot of our 20s traveling the world, including New Zealand. We visited her hometown, so asked her a few questions about it, which she happily answered. But when I asked her about her Maori heritage and family, became quite uncomfortable and said she didn't know a whole lot about it, which I find hard to believe. We asked her if she was religious, and she laughed and said no. We asked her about her degree, which she seemed very passionate about. But it's a fashion degree, which isn't exactly going to get her very far, in comparison to my son, who is a law student. It's clear that she loves my son and it's mutual, and my other children adored her, but I don't think she's the right fit for my son. Her parents were both 16 when they had her, and she's very open with the fact that they have a strong dislike for each other and haven't spoken since she was 6 months old. She also seems to have a bizarre relationship with each of her parents. After dinner, she went and played Monopoly with my daughters and sons, and made a couple crude jokes, as well as laughing at my son, her boyfriend, when he lost. My son asked me if she could stay, and I said she could as long as she slept in a separate room, which he said was ridiculous as they're both 20 and are living together next year. She decided to leave as she didn't feel welcome. After she left, I told my son I didn't approve and that I could set him up with a nice girl from my church, if he preferred. But he said he loves her, and I was furious I would even suggest it. My other son, who's 16, heard me and said he really liked her. My husband said that even if I felt like that, I shouldn't vocalize it, because it's clear my son loves her. I understand that, but he should be with someone more suitable for our family in my opinion. AITA, OP, you don't really get to decide who is good and who isn't good for your son. It is his decision, and if he loves her, it's his choice, not yours. And talk about religious persecution. You hate this girl because she's not religious? Man, you are the worst type of person, and yes, you are a fucking asshole. Our final post for today comes from AITA Gold Mom. AITA for pointing out that my mom is as much of a gold digger as my sister's boyfriend. I'm a 21-year-old female, and my mom, who's 53, and my dad, 54, in college. My dad comes from old family money, but my mom's family was very middle class. But when my sister, who's 24, and I were growing up, my mom acted like she had always been upper class and is very snobbish. I remember how we would go to dinner with her and siblings, and she would insist on choosing the restaurant to make sure it was up to her standards, make a big show of paying the bill, and then would crap talk her siblings and their spouses/kids the whole way home, making fun of their clothes, cars, jobs, you name it. She has always placed importance on whoever was wealthiest/had the best family, and wouldn't let my sister and I hang out with kids after school who weren't up to her standards. It's made our relationship a little strained, especially since she obsesses about these things today. But she's my mom and I love her. Anyway, due to COVID, I'm staying with my parents since my college sent everybody home. My sister is living in another state, but we have family Zoom calls once a week. On one of the early Zoom calls, my sister told us that she had a new boyfriend and they ended up moving in together for quarantine. My sister has her own apartment, which my parents pay for partially. They go to the same law school and he seemed very sweet when we talked to him. My mom started in with the parents, childhood, and plans line of questioning. He told her that he had gotten a scholarship for law school, since his dad was a construction worker and his mom was a preschool teacher, and that he grew up in a small town. My mom was super chilly to him after this, and afterwards went on a rant about how he wasn't good enough for my sister, and how he just wants her money after all. My dad and I thought she'd stop, but she did this every single call. Super cold to a perfectly nice guy, and ranting and talking trash about him afterwards. She did the whole thing again after our most recent call, and I was pretty fed up. I asked her to stop saying that stuff, and she said it was the truth, that he was just a gold digger. I asked her how she was different from him since she grew up a lot like him, and asked if she just wanted dad's money after all. She got super upset with me, and didn't tell me to get out or anything, but she's sort of been ignoring me since then and makes passive-aggressive comments or mentioning how she's been crying. My dad talked to me after dinner and said that I really hurt her feelings, and she just wants to make sure my sister ends up with a good guy, even if she doesn't seem like it. He said that she was just trying to be a good mom and I upset her. I feel really bad. She can be annoying at times, but she is my mom and I don't want to hurt her. AITA? Somebody in the comments posted something that really hit home with me, so I'm going to read it for y'all. Not just in law school, but clever and driven enough to be in law school with what sounds like a full scholarship. That takes some serious determination, hard work, and intelligence, which are the traits it will take to build a good and successful family. I'm more impressed by a poor kid in a competitive field of study like that than a rich kid that just floated in on daddy's money and name. He'll be far more likely to be a good partner and father. My family did not come from money, and I didn't either. My dad went back to school whenever he was in his 30s to get his degree, and now he's a teacher and he supports us very well. But it wasn't easy, especially at the time that him and my stepmom got a divorce. We lost our house, everything. And it was a very hard time for me because I didn't have the nicest clothes, I couldn't really do what I wanted to do, couldn't go out. But I appreciate him for what he did, and he taught me to be a better man. It's not about where you come up or what you come up with. A rich person, poor person, we're all people, and we should all have the same opportunities. So no, you're not a butthole, but your mom, she really is for that line of thinking, especially from where she came up with. Well, alright my dashing dudes and darling dames, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/AITA. I hope you liked the stories, and if you did, I'm going to link them in the description as always. And if you liked the video, subscribe, share, drop a like, and a comment down below which you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We're at 380 at the time of recording this, and we're almost to 400. I can't believe that. I can't believe how much this channel has grown and how much this community means to me. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.